Hi, I'm Robert Greaves, and this is The Point. This week, we're here with Septime Webre, Artistic Director of the Hong Kong Ballet, to discuss the development of ballet in Hong Kong. Septime has a long and distinguished history in ballet. He came to Hong Kong in 2017 after 17 years as the Artistic Director of the Washington, D.C. Ballet. Under his leadership, they've staged productions here, including The Great Gatsby, Don Quixote, and Alice in Wonderland. Septime, it's great to see you today.
Great to be here.
What makes ballet in Hong Kong unique?
Well, a great ballet company should reflect the great things about the city in which it exists. So like Hong Kong, which is a vibrant city and also a fusion city, as both a city steeped in tradition, but also a modern city, a forward-looking city. Likewise, the Hong Kong Ballet is special among Asia's premier ballet companies because it's a fusion company. The company is international. Dancers are from all over the world, and the repertoire both is steeped in traditional, ballet canon of hundreds of years old, and a lot of new work that's created on our artists. We are a forward-thinking ballet company, as Hong Kong is a forward-thinking city.
Right. Now, you've noted that ballet needs to engage with the social fabric of a city to truly become integrated with it. What do you mean by that?
It's not enough for us to rehearse our ballets, hang a shingle, sell tickets, and have people have an experience in the ballet in the theater. Ballet needs to be part of people's lives for it to survive as an art form and to have impact on the society. We're beyond the days where we're a rarefied art form in the temple of a theater. I believe ballet is a language that can be used to express so much about our world. And so it means that we need to take ballet outside of the theater walls, and we're doing that in Hong Kong in lots of ways. We have quite a robust program called Ballet in the City that we launched just last year. It is a series of pop-up performances all around Hong Kong in unorthodox locations, iconic locations, and unexpected spots. By performing for tens of thousands of people in surprise locations, after work, during lunchtime, people stop by, they walk by, see us dancing on the streets, and stick around and realize that they really enjoy ballet. We are unwittingly creating a generation of ballet goers, of Hong Kongers, but also making a statement about the city and reminding people that Hong Kong is a city of beauty, and they have to just look up from their smartphones for just a minute, look around them, and they'll see beauty everywhere.
So I guess you're answering my next question. That's really what draws people to ballet, in your opinion?
Well, I think people want to come to the ballet because they want something special, an experience that ennobles them, an experience that lifts them up somehow, and a communal experience. When you go to the theater, you come to the ballet, you're certainly entertained, but that's the baseline. Right. You're with like-minded people having a shared experience that is uplifting in nature. It's something like the kind of experience that people who might experience a liturgy together or a spiritually based yoga class together. These are meaningful experiences that a group has together that ennobles us. The second is we classical artists are presenting to the world a vision of the world that could be. We are the idealized version of the audience. When the curtain goes up, ideally the audience is seeing themselves in us. Now the dancers might be younger than the audience members, they might be better looking, they're thinner, they can jump higher, they can turn more, but they are the metaphor for the audience. We're showing a mirror to the audience, and we're showing them what they can be. We're fit, we're young, not me, but the dancers, and we're dancing the ideal world. Right. So our essential message, what ballet does, it sends the message to the audience, to the world, that the world can be its best self. Right. And we do that by being our best selves and presenting that in an artful, poetic way.
Interesting. Now, your dancers come from many countries. How do you manage a multinational ballet corps?
There is a lot of culture clashes that need to get resolved. Actually, we're unified. because we all have the same training, we all have the same base, and we're unified by a single goal, which is making great art together and sharing it. And ballet is a nonverbal language. So the different languages in the room represented don't mean too much, because what we do is transcends language. In fact, we recruit all over the world. This year I'll be recruiting in London, Paris, New York, Beijing, Shanghai, Melbourne, Sydney, San Francisco, and here in Hong Kong. So it's really a melting pot. It's a lot like Hong Kong. You know, there's we take advantage of the diversity of cultures and of people. So when the curtain goes up, the stage, the population of the audience, of the dancers, looks a lot like the population of the house, which is quite diverse.
Right. Now this year, I believe the Hong Kong Ballet is celebrating its 40th anniversary.
For 40 and loving it.
And so how do you plan to address the future, and what is the future?
Well, the past of ballet is steeped in Eurocentric stories. Ballet was originated among the nobility, first in Italy and then in France. And the DNA of the language was encoded with European nobility. And we have stories in our canon about swans and princes and peasant girls in Bavaria in a dirndl, and ghosts from beyond the grave. So ballet has all of these qualities, but ballet is also a flexible language like English or Cantonese or Mandarin, language that can be used in many different ways to express many different things. And we at Hong Kong Ballet firmly believe that the ballet has to both honor its past and project forward. So in addition to great works from the canon, we are actively engaged in creating ballets that speak to people's daily lives. Many of them are Hong Kong inspired. This year we do the second iteration of Hong Kong Cool, which is a commission project. 9 world premieres by Hong Kong-based choreographers. Each choreographer is paired with a fashion designer based in Hong Kong. And last year we had a similar project with choreographers paired with visual artists, Hong Kong-based visual artists. This is a kind of explosion of creativity that celebrates the emerging creative class of Hong Kong. So at the same time as doing Swan Lake, we're commissioning works about Hong Kong. We're also looking to create fusion works. In about 9 months' time, I will premiere a new Romeo and Juliet, which has a European background, using the Prokofiev score, the greatest score written for ballet in the 20th century, but setting it in Hong Kong in the 1960s, which was a period of great social turmoil in Hong Kong. And the visuals will be influenced by Wong Kar-wai's great masterwork, the film In the Mood for Love. So it combines a lot of things, stories about great families at war, has a nostalgic view of Hong Kong in the 1960s. This is another example of how the future of Hong Kong ballet marries what ballet has been with the future of the world around us.
Wow. Can you talk to me a little bit about the art scene in Hong Kong and its importance to the city today?
I think Hong Kong has a brand of being a business-friendly city. And we all know that Hong Kong's been one of the great financial success stories of the cities of Asia, major cities of Asia. And it's also a fusion city. I think what's been forgotten until recent years is it's also a city of great creativity. The creativity that made business great, which is actually that can't happen without an environment that supports creativity and rewards it. The same can be said about the art scene. On top of it, actually, the Hong Kong government has been really supportive of the arts and funded generously some really big, important flagship organizations like Hong Kong Ballet. I moved to Hong Kong 2 years ago from the States, where I had a big career there, and we did amazing things, but with almost no government support. So a difference here in Hong Kong is the environment that supports, that provides a foundation. We're not kind of running scared financially, so there's a strong base, and that allows us to work on behalf of the whole environment. We can do things like pop-up performances on Chater Road on a Sunday for the Filipino domestic workers, and the next day in new territories for underserved populations, and then the next week in Daegun in Central in a very high-profile operation. All of these funded, all of them free. It means that Hong Kong people can have arts be accessible, and there's an environment that supports it. And I just think over time, over the last 10 years probably, the art scene has grown and grown and grown. And I mean, it's stable and artistically sound and financially stable. There's also another point to bring up. International touring has been really important to us. We tour about a month a year, alternating more or less. This year we have a North American tour in April of 2020 in Canada and US. Last March we were in Europe for a month. We're also in China and Shanghai. This year we were in Taiwan last year. So this kind of international touring does two things. It brings the Hong Kong Ballet brand and Hong Kong's brand internationally and presents Hong Kong as a city of creativity at the highest international level. But it also means that when we return to Hong Kong people who might not know so much about ballet might have read that we just came back from a tour to Europe, right. And that elevates our kind of our how we're perceived locally, and I think that helps the cycle grow.
Great. Now the name of this series is The Point. So for this episode, I'd like to ask you if there's one point you'd like to leave with our audience about Hong Kong Ballet or ballet in Hong Kong, what would it be?
I think I'll end with the way I started, which is Hong Kong Ballet is a forward-looking ballet company. We are steeped in the classics, but we're really about the future of ballet. And we're not looking to be a contemporary dance company. We're classical artists, but classical artists of 2019 and of 2020. And so that means a real commitment to describing the lives of our audience members in the works we present on stage, and making sure that our work is accessible outside the theater, that it's an integrated part of people's lives in Hong Kong and internationally, that through this kind of work, our goal is to be respected internationally and cherished locally as a real gem of what makes Hong Kong special.
Thank you very much, Septime.
It's a pleasure.
And that's The Point for this week. I'm Robert Greaves. Follow us on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter, and let's continue the dialogue.